Okay, here's Chef Jason preparing borscht.
It's already done.
Apparently, it's been pre-done for the taping.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And now we're going to show you. This is how. So how do we do this? This is called reheating borscht.
This is reheating borscht. So what we do here is we look at the knob and we find the correct one.
So
there's four. There's four knobs. There's a rear up front. Well, there's four up top, but you're being very anal. You're kind of making the host look very bad.
Okay, there's four knobs.
The first step in a cooking show is to make the chef look good.
Okay, so what do? You turn the knob
on.
What do you put on top of the burner?
Burner, that's borscht. That is borscht.
No, what is the borscht inside of?
That's a pot.
Oh, that's a pot.
that has a handle.
Okay,
that's
so
a handled pot.
Handled pot, and the borscht is in there.
Sure, that's what we kind of call it.
And what's this thing here?
That's a non-stick pan.
And what's the thing that's on the side of it?
That's oil in the. You mean in the pan?
No, on this part here.
Oh, that is. What's this?
Pot handle.
What's that?
Pan handle.
Exactly.
But isn't that where
that's
the
also where the part? That's where I live. I live by the panhandle.
I know. I was trying to set you up there for. Okay, so when the borscht is completed, what will be here?
So when the borscht is done, we're going to put it in these blue bowls. Notice how they match. It's very important to have.
How will we know which one is which?
You mean whose is whose?
Yeah, which?
Well, I'll spit in yours.
Okay.
And
then what's this stuff here?
This is like 2-week-old cabbage.
Cabbage, so it's aged cabbage.
It's not fermented like sauerkraut, but it's old. So.
Is it Napa cabbage?
It's Jewish cabbage.
It's Jewish cabbage.
It's old, cheap Jewish cabbage.
Old, cheap Jewish cabbage. Yeah. You're not supposed to say old, cheap, and Jewish in the same sentence. It's considered a racial slur.
It's okay, I'm Jewish. I'm allowed to do that.
Okay, and over here we have these.
Those are
also bowls?
Those are plates.
Oh, plates.
Good try.
What happens with the plates?
I'm not sure yet. That's kind of a spur of the moment thing. I might just give us empty plates to make it look like we have more food than we actually do.
The bowl and the plate. And then here we have a thing called a...
that's a pint glass.
That is called a...
glass.
I thought that was a pot.
That's in nod to my Canadian friends. That's a Canadian beer, but it's actually American beer in it because Canadian beer tastes like shit. So you want to make sure to have American beer in the glass.
Right. So it's a Canadian glass with an American beer. What kind of beer is in there?
That's a California beer. That's a very good beer.
What is it called?
It's called
Budweiser.
Nope, it's not Budweiser. It's
Miller.
It's not called Miller. There are more American beers than just the two of Miller and Budweiser. I think it's called, and we actually went there today, so I'm a little surprised you don't remember what the name is.
I'm trying to help set up the
teaching?
Yeah, it's a cooking show, you know. I asked the question.
I don't want to be.
Okay, so that is beer.
It's Anderson Valley.
There it is, Anderson Valley.
Yeah, it's beer that you actually...
Is that what you would refer to as a microbrew?
That's a good question. I'm going to say it's a mid-brew.
Oh, I thought it's a microbrew.
I don't really know what the definition of a microbrew is.
I'm not sure either. Okay, so I hear some noise coming from this area.
That's crackling old Jewish cabbage.
Old Jewish cabbage is crackling? Is that like an old Jewish person complaining?
It's very similar, yeah. You notice
I think that's racist. I think it's racist. I don't know if that's allowed on this.
The kvetching sound that's going on the stovetop.
Okay, that's the kvetching sound.
That's old...
And that's the borscht.
Grandmother.
Now, when we are finished with or you have the diminishing babushkas over there.
Yeah.
They're diminishing.
Just imagine her just sitting here complaining
and the diminishing babushkas and the Turkish coffee thing and the Japanese fan.
Yeah, it's a multicultural kitchen.
It's very multicultural.
And here we have a Jamaican person.
There's a Jamaican person.
And there's a Canadian bagel.
A Canadian bagel. Okay. So how long does it take for this concoction to be prepared?
You getting the fire action?
I saw. Oh, do that again. There was things burning on fire. It was oil.
That was oil. Yeah. I'm trying to do it again when the oil burns off.
So, how long will it take for this concoction?
This has to reheat. So second that gets hot. It has to get hot.
So reheating is all about getting it hot. What temperature are we shooting for here?
I guess that depends how much you like to burn your mouth. It's all about how much tolerance you can take.
Well, how many minutes?
I like it scalding hot.
2 minutes, 3 minutes?
We've
been recording for 4 minutes and 42 seconds.
Probably not 4 minutes because we've already read. So
right, 4 minutes and 47 seconds.
I'm going to say for about this much borscht. That much.
That looks good. That much borscht. Now, what are we going to... 7 minutes, good. What are we going to put in the borscht? Sour cream?
I forgot. I don't have any sour cream, but I do have whole milk yogurt.
That's good. Is there any meat in the borscht?
There is pork in the borscht, so it is not kosher.
Well, it might be kosher. You can have a little bit of pork.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. The Bible doesn't really forbid you from eating.
Okay, so yeah, it is kosher.
It has to be the size of an olive, I think. It has to be smaller than the size of an olive, but olives are very big in biblical times, and in Israel they're still big today.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Or Iraq, where the Bible was written. So now,
this is kosher borscht. And
kosher borscht with a little bit of pork in it.
With a little bit of pork.
And how did you prepare the borscht?
There's lobster stock.
In the borscht is lobster stock? No. How did you prepare the borscht?
So for the borscht, what we did, it was actually a very long process. We made a beef stock. And we made a beef stock.
A beef
stock and a beef stock.
Right. Okay.
We strained out the beef stock, so we're just left with the purple liquid. And we strained out the beef stock, so we're left with nice flavorful beef juice.
And then you mix them together?
In the beef juice, we cook the pork. So then you have almost like a beef pork stock. And then you combine the beef stock, pork stock with the beef stock. So you get all sorts of flavors going on. And then in there you put the cooked pork, and then you also cook some cabbage and potatoes and carrots.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it should be very good.
I think this is a real cooking show we're making here.
Okay, yeah, it's a good.
It's called In the Kitchen. It's called Reheating in the Kitchen with Jason.
Reheating in the Kitchen with Jason.
I mean, reheating
you have
something
to
you
figure
cooked
out how to
before.
make it yourself.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Because
right.
I just gave you a very detailed explanation of how. What
You
you're
did
supposed to do, right?
But normally,
everybody else gets that.
Normally, the people would have figured out. They'd have to kind of work backwards from the reheating.
Right, now you have to
figure it out.
But I am cooking the cabbage live. This is in real
The
time.
cabbage is alive.
No, it's real time.
Oh.
It's live.
Okay, we're gonna keep
Look at it,
this.
it's starting to come to a boil. What's the time? What time are we?
6 minutes and 56 seconds.
That's 7 minutes.
7
That's
minutes,
what
and
I
we're going
said.
to cut this short. We're going to keep this to a 7.5 minute segment,
That's a
because that's
perfect
the name of the show, is 7.5 minute cooking.
That's a perfect YouTube segment.
Yeah, it is. Is this going on YouTube, or is it going on the food channel? Or the cooking channel?
Well, if I get paid a lot of money, I guess it could go on the food channel.
Okay, so once again, this is In the Kitchen with Jason.
In the kitchen, that's good.
Borscht.
And the babushka.
Old Jewish cabbage.
Hey.
Diminishing babushka signing off.
See you next time.
We will see you next time. I'm zooming back, actually walking back. Jason's kitchen.
I'm going to put the babushka in the soup now.
Go for it.